Welcome back to the channel. This is NASA's thread. For today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to make this trendy half circle skirt with a slit and a ruch. If it's something you're interested in, do well to keep watching. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, please subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. So get your fabrics and your sewing tools and let's get right into this. So for this tutorial, I'll be making use of 2 yards of cotton fabric. This is the exact material you need for this. And if you're on a bigger side, you'll be needing about 2.5 to 3 yards. So I'm going ahead to fold my fabric into a triangle, as you can see. So you're going to fold it as if you're cutting a half flake, because that's what we're working with. You're going to fold it this way. So when you finish folding it properly, the next thing is to mark where you have your round waist divided by 4 plus 1 inch. So my round waist divided by 4 is 8 plus 1 inch. I had 9. So now I'm going to take the measurement from the top of my fold to that point, which gives me 12, and I'll be marking 12 inches all around this. Okay, so you first of all take quarter of your round waist plus 1 inch. You take that point, mark where that point gets to, and then from the top you measure the length from the tip of your fold to that point, and then measure whatever you get round. Okay, that will help you to get a nicer circumference. Now for the length of the skirt, you're going to take the measurement from this first mark you have here, which is the waist position, to where you want your skirt to end. So for me, I'll be using a total of 35 inches, which includes my hemming allowance of 1 inch. So it means my skirt length will be 34 inches minus my band. So I'm going ahead to just mark that 35 inches. Now to get a better circumference, that the better curve for your skirt, you're going to take the measurement from the tip again to that point where you marked your full length. So for me, after taking that, I marked from the tip. You're going to ensure that the tip of your tape is placed at the tip of your fold, as you can see right now, and then go ahead and mark it all around. So while you're taking your measurement, the tip of your tape needs to be at the tip of your fold. I hope you understand that, and then go ahead to just mark it. So if you need yours to be longer, you're going to be needing more than 2 yards. Okay, you're going to be needing like 2.5 yards of fabric so that you don't experience shortage while you're doing this. But 35 inches works perfectly for me because it is quite long. Okay, so it works perfectly. So just go ahead and take that measurement all round, and ensure to also include your hemming allowance because you'll be hemming the base. So this is what I have after I did that. What I'm going to do before cutting this is to pin it down so that my fabric is not moving, and I'm going to cut this equally for the sides. So this is it. Now I will go ahead to cut it out. Now from the top, while cutting, I'm going to add half of an inch for my joining allowance, and because I'll be attaching a band to this later on. Okay, and then for the base, I'll just go ahead and cut out what I had because I already added my hemming allowance of 1 inch to that. So this is what we have for our front piece right now. We're going to just keep this aside and then make another fold for the back. So you're also going to fold the back in a cone just like we did for the front. That's in a triangle just like we did for the front. So also ensure that you have them placed equally so that you're going to get the same thing on all sides of your piece. Okay, and after doing that, after ensuring that you have your folds properly, you're going to bring in your front piece and you place it on top of it. So I'm going to pin it down because the breeze was actually disturbing while I was doing this. So we're going to place our front piece. Now the part where your front piece is closed, you're going to also align that to your back piece. Okay, the open ends will be on the same sides while the closed ends will be on the same sides. As you can see, I'm placing mine right now. Ensure that you're placing this properly, and after you have this well placed, go ahead and pin them together so that they stay together, they stay in place, and while you're cutting, you're not making any mistakes. Okay, so I've gone ahead to just spin it down. Now we're going to cut the back just as what we have for the front. We're not adding anything to the back. We're just going to cut exactly what we have on the front on our back piece also. So this is what we have for the back and the front. Okay, after cutting this, I had a little piece of fabric left, which will be for the other things. Now I'm going to separate my piece into two, separating the front and back, keeping one piece aside. Now on the piece I'm going to use as my front piece, I'm going to turn over to the front side. You're going to fold this the way you cut it out, fold this in the way you cut it out, you're going to fold that in. So what we're going to do is that from the center, that's from the top, you're going to take your bust pan measurement, which is the nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Okay, you know how we place our darts on our clothes. So you're going to take your bust pan, you take it from the top to the base, and then you connect that together in a straight line. So mine is 4 inches. You take the distance from one nipple to the other, you divide that by 2, and you mark it at the top, and then you also mark at the base of your skirt. And after that, go ahead to connect. So ensure that you connect that in a straight line. Try as much as possible to connect in a straight line. Make use of your rule to connect them together. Any parts where it's not straight, just go ahead and just make adjustments to that end. Okay. So after marking for the side, you're going to repeat the same thing for the other side. Okay, one side is going to be for the slit, while the other side will be for the runch effect. So you're going to make the same measurement on the other side. This is because the slit has to fall on the dart line, and then the runch also has to fall on the dart line, so that it gives you a perfect and nice look by the time you finish. So you do the same thing like you did for the other side. Take um your bust pan divided by 2. You're going to mark that at the top, mark it at the base, and connect that in a straight line together like you can see. So after marking this, I had to go back to the other one to just make some adjustment. Remember I said it should be as straight, so that by the time you make your slit, you make your runch, it's not bending, it looks nice. Okay, so that we can have the perfect outcome like we want for this skirt. Okay, it's important for you to take put in these little details to bring out the perfect look for your skirt. So after doing that, I'm just going to open them together. Now we have it opened up, you can see both lines. Now you can decide on what side you want your runch or one side you want your slit. So I want my slit on the left side. Now coming from the top, I'm marking I marked 19 inches from my waistline to where I want my slits to stop. Okay, you can take it higher if you want yours to be more open. I did that because my skirt is already long, so by the time I runch this up, the slit is not going higher than I want. After that, I will just go through with my scissors, follow through with the line I marked earlier, and then open this up to the point where I want my slit to end. Okay, just right there like so. So now for the opening of the slits, you can go on to just fold up that end, like to fold it up, but it's not going to come out looking nice. You can decide to use a bias also, but in this case we're going to be using a facing. So we're going to use a piece of the fabric. This is what we're going to be using. You're going to place this underneath your fabric, and then you open up, place that slitted part on top of it. So for better work, I will advise that you pin it down. So ensure that the length of the facing and the length of your skirt is actually the same while you're doing this. Okay, and then go ahead and pin both of them together. Now you're pinning this down so that it doesn't move while you're cutting through this, because if it moves and you make a mistake while cutting, you have to redo this. So after ensuring that it's well placed, I'll go through with my scissors and I will just cut, tracing what I have for the slit. I'll trace it on the other piece of fabric I want to use for my facing, from the base down to the top. Okay, after that I'll cut at that end. Now to get the width of the facing, I'm going to use a width of 1.5 inches. I'm going to be cutting this through from one end to the other with 1.5 inches distance from where I have the opening already. This will help me to fold this and stitch on this later on by the time I stitch it down. So you're just going to cut, just watch what I'm doing so that you are not confused. You're going to cut it this way, okay, and that is it for the facing. Now we're going to bring our facing. You're going to place it right side to right side of your skirt piece. You place them together, ensure that you're aligning them properly, and you pin them at the top. Okay, so you pin it at that top part where it's open so that it stays in place and you can go ahead and stitch this perfectly. After pinning this, go ahead and stitch by 1/2 inch all round. So this is what it looks like after I finish stitching. So I'm just making notches. This notch will help me to when I'm ironing, for this to be well relaxed. It will help for this to be relaxed. Okay, so you can make your notch, try to flip it to the other side. If it's not relaxed, you notch on those parts that are not relaxed. Okay, you do that, take your time so that by the time you flip this over to the other side, that's the wrong side, and give it a good press, it's going to be very relaxed. So that's the essence of making those notches at those points, right? So after you finish making your notches, checking the ends, you're going to flip it to the wrong side and go to your ironing table and give it a very good press. Okay, iron that very well. So ensure to notch those parts that are not relaxed, but don't notch into your thread lines where you made your stitch, and then flip it over this way and give it a very good press. So this is what I have for mine after ironing. This is the wrong side actually, and this is what it looks like on the right side. You can see how nice that looks. Now we want to fold in our facing to give this a final stitch. Now to do this, go ahead and fold the rough edge of your facing inwards this way by 1/2 inch, and then you just match very close to the ends all round. So this is what it looks like after I finish. You can see how nice this looks. Looks quite nice and neat. Okay, so you need to work well with your iron, work with your pins, and be patient while doing that. So the next we want to do is to work on our runch. So for the runch, going from the waist area, I want the length of my runch to be 15 inches. So what I'm going to do is to take the measurement from the waist area down to where I have 15 inches on my tape, and I'll make a mark. So after doing this, I've gone ahead already to cut out the casing for my rope. Now to cut out the casing for your rope, you're going to cut out a width of 3 inches and then a length of 16 inches. So you're going to fold 1/2 inch on the base, 1/2 inch on the sides, and 1/2 inch at the top. So that's just what I did, and then I folded it again and ironed in order to have the midpoint of this case. And I'm placing the midpoint of my casing on the line which I already marked, and then I'm pinning together so that it can stay in that part which I have marked. You're going to pin it at the top and also at the bottom part, following the line which you have marked already. Now what we're going to do is to go to the machine. You're going to stitch the sides, both sides, and then the middle. I would advise you stitch the middle first before you stitch the sides so that it comes out looking nice. So this is what I have after I finish doing mine. You can see the opening at the base. Now for the ropes for the runch, I'm gonna ahead to cut out my piece for this. I have about 23 inches of length by the time I finish. You're going to fold in one end while folding your rope so that it looks neat, okay? So cut out a width of 1.5 inches and then fold it together to give you this. You're going to need two pieces of this. Now what I'll do is to use my safety pin to pass this through the opening I have for the ruch. I'm going to just for the ropes, okay, along my casing. So I'm going to just pass this through. After that, I will pin it down and then I'll repeat the same process for the other one. So the parts of your rope where you have folded, where the ends are neat, is the part where you're going to leave outward so that you can have this looking nice. So you're going to pass this through, take off your safety pin it down on that point. So make sure you pin it down so that it stays there. If you don't pin it down, it's going to be a problem by the time you go over to stitch. So after pinning down, you want to go over and just make a stitch at that point. So this is what it looks like. So by the time we runch, you can see how this looks already. It is giving. It's looking nice already. So the next thing we want to do is to join our piece together. You're going to join the back piece to the front piece, placing them right side of fabric to right side of fabric, and then you go ahead and stitch this other ends to the end, which is the right side. We're going to just stitch the right side to the end. Then on the left side, where we're going to be placing a zipper, because our zipper is going to sit by the side, I'm going to take a length of 8 inches. So if you're working with a short zip, please measure your zip first before you measure the opening for your zip, and then you go ahead and stitch the other end. So this is what I have after I finish stitching mine. This is what it looks like. This is the opening, and I also went ahead to hem the edge of my skirt. So the skirt is coming in gradually. Now the next thing we want to work on is the band. Now to do this, go ahead and take the measurement of your round waist of the skirt and then you cut out your band. Now I want my band to be 2 inches wide by the time I finish. So I cut out a band of 5 inches. I ironed my interfacing to it, and then I folded half of an inch on both sides. So if you want to use a band of 1.5 inches, cut out your width to be 4 inches, and then you fold half of an inch on both sides. Okay, if you want it to be 1 inch, cut out a band of 3 inches, and then you fold half of an inch on both sides. That's how it works. Now what I'm going to do is to just sandwich the waistline of my skirt in between my bands. Remember, it's already folded on both ends by half of an inch. I'm going to pin it down firstly, and then I'll go over to the machine and I'll follow through and just stitch it at the edge all round. So this is what I have after I have finished doing that. So the next thing we want to do is to fix the zip for the skirt. I will just go ahead and stitch my zip down. So this is what I have after stitching my zip, and this is what the skirt looks like by the time we finish. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel, do well to subscribe. If you're here at the end of the video, please give this video a thumbs up. Just give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know that I'm doing a good work. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.